Welcome to Painted Kids Studio, where we make amazing art videos. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can be notified every time we post a new art video. Hello friends, Miss Kate here with our lesson of the day. And today we are painting or drawing flamingos at sunset. So I'm gonna take this painting and put it aside. Today I am working on paper, but I know some of my friends, when they do sunset tropical paintings, they like to work on canvas. So if you're working on canvas, we're gonna draw it together, but then when we get to the paint part, you guys are actually gonna get to paint it the colors that I'm coloring it. So with our flamingo, I like to start with the letter C. And it's not too big because I want to have enough room for our body of our flamingo down here. So it's just like a letter C. That's all we start with. So after we have our letter C, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little curve like this. So it's just kind of like an in and an out like that. And then after I have that, I'm gonna start up here and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go in and out like that. And this is gonna be the flamingo's head. So the flamingo, I want to put an eye on my flamingo, and a lot of times I'll do these cutie eyes. So I'll color it in black, but I'll leave a little sparkle. And then sometimes I'll even do like a little detail like this, just to make it look fancy. You could even put a couple of eyelashes if you want, that's fine. And flamingos have a really long pointy beak like this. And then they also have a line in the middle of their beak like that, so they can open their mouth. And then the end of a flamingo's beak is colored black. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that in Sharpie. You guys should work in pencil first, and then when you're done, you can always Sharpie this part black. So after we have our flamingo's head and neck done, we're ready for the flamingo's body. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the flamingo's back. So here at the base of the neck here, I'm just gonna go up and flop down, like that. And then I'm gonna start on this side of the neck, and I'm gonna go kind of lightly curved and then straight across like this. And I'm leaving a little bit of a gap here because I'm gonna have a wing swoop down, and I'm gonna have some feathers over here. After you have this front of the body, I'm gonna go ahead and do the wing. So the wing is gonna start right here at the base of the neck, and it's gonna swoop, and then it's gonna kind of ruffle. It's gonna kind of ruffle. I'm gonna have a couple feathers here. And then after you have your couple feathers here, we're gonna go ahead and put the lines of the legs. So flamingo's legs are really long and thin. So I've got one leg, and I'm gonna make it look like it's like walking a little bit, so I have them apart. So I'm gonna do two legs like this. The next thing I'm gonna do with my flamingo is, flamingos are tropical, so I always like to put them in a tropical background. So if you have a ruler, if not, don't worry about it. You can just draw the straightest line you can without using a ruler. But if you have a ruler, you can use this ruler to put a line of water in the distance. And if you wanted to, and I don't have this in my example, but you could even have a little bit of sand that the flamingo is standing on. So we could have sand and we could have water, and this is going to be our sunset sky. So after you have this part done, we are actually done with our sketch, and I'm going to start talking to you about how we color a flamingo. So most of you know that flamingos are pink. So I like to color, or if you're painting, you can paint or color your flamingo different shades of pink. So I usually like to do my flamingo kind of like a lighter pink shade. So right now I'm not pushing very hard with my colored pencil. I'm just kind of like lightly coloring in with this so it doesn't get too dark, because I want my wing to contrast my flamingo's body. So I'm really light on my flamingo right now. And for those of you that are mixing your colors for your, if you're painting on canvas, pink is just red and white. So to make a light pink, it's just a lot of white and a little bit of red. But when we get to our wing here in a second, it's gonna be, you're gonna add more red to that light pink to make it darker pink. So then I usually do my wing a darker pink. And if you're coloring with colored pencil, you just push a little harder and it'll make it a darker color. So I wasn't pushing very hard with my flamingo's body because I wanted that to be lighter pink. But now that I'm onto the wing, I'm pushing harder so that I can have it be like a darker pink. And again, I'm working really fast. You guys can work a lot slower than I am, so you're not scribbly scrabbly. You wanna do yours all nice and perfect. All right, so after I have my flamingo done here, sometimes I'll even take another color, like sometimes blue, sometimes purple, and I'll actually kind of like add these little dashes. Like it's almost making the feather, the wing here look kind of feathery. So sometimes I'll put like these little highlights almost, or shadows, to make it look like this is like feathers here. So if you want to do that, you can. To make this color, if you are painting this with us today, it's red, white, and blue. That's why I make this light purple color to put into the shadows. Next, I'm going to teach you guys how to do a sunset. So whenever I do tropical paintings, I really like sunsets. So if you are painting with me today or drawing with me today, sunsets always go in the same order, so the colors are the same. So against the water, because remember, we've got sand down here. This is sand. This is going to be our water. And then up here is going to be our sky. So right on the edge of our water where our sky starts, I'm going to start with gold. I'm going to start with like a yellow color. And you guys can just start with plain old yellow if you're painting, or if you want to soften, if you think your yellow might be a little too bright, you could always add a little white to it to make it a little bit softer. So I'm going to go ahead and put some yellow in here first. And again, I am working super fast. You guys can go a lot slower than me, but I'm gonna start my sunset sky with some yellow. So after you have some yellow, like this, I'm gonna move to the next color of my sunset sky. So after I do yellow in a sunset sky, the next color I like to move to is orange. So if you're working with colored pencils, I'm not pushing very hard because I don't want this orange to be like super bright. I want it to be kind of soft. So I'm not pushing too hard. Now, those of you that are working with paint, if you want to make your orange kind of soft, you can mix yellow and red, and you can even put a little white in it if you want, just to soften it up to make it kind of a peachy color. And that's like perfect for a sunset sky. So here we go. We've got our yellow, we've got our orange, and I might even like add a little bit of yellow into some of this orange just to make it kind of like a golden color. And that's another thing. If you guys are painting this, you could always add yellow. You can blend the yellow and the orange together to make kind of like a sunset color. So we've got like yellow and it fades up into orange. I might even take this orange just a teeny bit higher, like this. And again, if you're working with paint, just keep going. Here we go, but we want to still leave some room in our sky for some other colors of the sunset. So we've got yellow, we've got orange. The next color I like to do in my sunset matches our flamingo, it's pink. So I've got some pink here, and I'm going to start blending this into my sunset. So now I've got yellow, I've got orange, and I've got pink. And I'm getting kind of close to the top of my canvas, so I only got room for maybe one more color. All right. And if you're painting this, where your pink and orange touch, this might start turning into kind of a coral color. That's fine. I love when colors blend together. So we've got yellow, we've got orange, we've got pink. The last color I like to do is a light blue. So I'm gonna take my light blue colored pencil, but if you're working with paint, you're just gonna mix some blue and white together, and you're gonna finish the rest of your sky with this beautiful light blue. Like this. Ladybug. Ah! All right. There we go. All right. So we've got yellow, we've got orange, we've got pink, we've got blue. And then we can start on our water. So our water is going to be blue like this. And I like to take the blue right along the edge here. Like this. But something else that's kind of fun to do, especially if you're painting. So if you're painting, you can paint all of this water blue, so all the way down into the sand. You're gonna paint all this blue, so all the way in between here. And then over the top of your paint, when it dries, you can even add some of these little like waves of color like this. So you could, some of the same sky, the colors from the sky can be reflected in the water. So sometimes I'll do like pinks and yellow, and I'll just put like these little shimmers and shines, these little like lines reflecting the sky in the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of like color around those like this. I'm going really fast. I know, guys, I'm going super fast because I don't want this video to be too long for you. But you guys can take as much time as you want on this. But the main thing is that you get the water painted blue, but you want to have a couple, at least a couple, little streaks of color going horizontally. So that means back and forth. And that's what kind of makes it look like water. So it's not just standing still, it's moving, because we've got to have this like movement with these lines. So after you have that color put in your water, you can do your sand. Now, your sand, there's a couple different options. So if you have brown, then I would just push really lightly with brown. That makes the sand color like this. And if you have yellow, you can even kind of like layer up yellow or mustard color with the brown, and it'll make it look like sand. Now, if you're painting this, a good way to make sand color is, remember when I had you guys, if you want to make peach for the sunsets, you have like orange, so red and yellow, and you add some white into it, that makes kind of a peachy color, but if you want to turn it into a sand color, you can just add a teeny little bit of blue, and it'll turn it just a little bit brown. So here is my sand color, and this flamingo is looking amazing. So I colored this in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's been very fast, but it's a beautiful drawing, and it would be a beautiful painting if you're working on canvas. Thank you for joining me today. The flamingo lesson was super fun, and I have more coming up this week that I think you will love. We are posting videos every single day on our YouTube channel at 1 p.m. So I hope that you will join us again tomorrow and see what we have coming up. Thanks for painting with me today.